What if midlife wasn't a slow fade, but rather a second awakening? And what if the reason you feel restless isn't because you missed your chance, but rather because it's finally your turn? Today, Gloria Rand joins us to talk about reinvention after 50, authentic engagement, light language as a healing modality, and why waiting for someone else to give you the answers might be just the thing keeping you stuck. We explore self-trust, meditation, journaling, and what it really means to design your life your way. If you've ever wondered whether you're too late, well, this conversation might help you to understand otherwise. Welcome to New Reality Awakening, where seekers become finders and stories become transformations. Each week, we open the doorway to a new vibration, sharing wisdom, healing, and awakening from the visionaries of the New Reality TV platform. We are New Reality Awakening. Hey there, welcome to New Reality Awakening, the show where we go straight to the source. Each episode, we sit down with the creators behind New Reality TV to cut through the noise and get clear on three things: what they're putting into the world, why it actually matters right now, and how it connects to the bigger shifts happening in human consciousness. These are focused, no-fluff conversations, not origin myths, not guru speak, just real people doing meaningful work and the ideas behind it. If you're curious about where consciousness, culture, and personal responsibility intersect, you are in the right place. Today, we are super grateful to have Gloria Grace Rand on the show. We are going to talk about not one, but two shows that she's producing for New Reality TV, and I cannot wait. So I'm just going to bring her on. Gloria, thanks for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so delighted to get a chance to talk with you like this.
Yeah, me too. This is a long time coming. You and I have not had a chance to sit down and actually talk about your show. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot about it. So I keep saying show. It's shows, right? Because you have one show called Live, Love, Engage. And that's on season 2 of the show right now. And now you're switching gears and changing and creating a brand new show called
Design Your Life Your Way.
I can't say it any better. So thank you for taking that on. Okay, so we're going to dive into each one of those real quickly. But before we get to it, tell us a little bit about Gloria.
Okay, let's see. How long do we have? No, just kidding.
Well, as long as you want, but I'm out of here in 20 minutes.
Okay, all right. The 60-second version. Okay, so I grew up in Michigan, now live in Florida. I used to actually be in television. That was my first career, was a writer and a producer for the Nightly Business Report on public television a long time ago.
My condolences.
And I loved it. But anyway.
In this industry, you either love it or you hate it. And those of us that are in it know how hard it actually is. That's why my condolences, but I know how much fun it is too at the same time.
Yeah. And it was interesting considering I changed majors from business administration because I was flunking out of it. And so then wound up working for a business show. You know, the universe works that way. And so after I left there, I wound up finally starting my own business. So I was writing content for small businesses, doing online marketing. And fast forward to today, that now I still do that a little bit, but I'm more into the realm of doing coaching, if I can talk specifically I like working with women over 50 in particular, and then I also do a type of energy healing called light language that I share. And that's actually what I share on the podcast when I do my solo episodes too.
How very cool. All right, let's dive into you. First, Live, Love, Engage. You talk about light languages, and that has always fascinated me. But tell us a little bit about Live, Love, Engage. What is the format? What is it? Who is it for? That kind of thing.
Sure. So I started the show as a way for me to help me write my book, actually, Live, Love, Engage. So it's about helping you to live fully, to love deeply, and to engage authentically. And so because I've been an entrepreneur since 2009, I do gear it towards entrepreneurs and helping them to be a fully rounded person, not just, I definitely would have episodes and invite guests on who help you to grow your business, but also helping you to grow as a person, to grow as a parent, to grow as a spouse, to focus on your mindset. And because all of that is what makes, especially the mindset part, because that's something I learned that I need to work on for myself in growing my own business.
Right.
So that's really what Live, Love, Engage was all about.
So then how does light language get into this? How does that bring into the conversation?
How did that fit in? Yeah. So that's been an interesting journey for me. So as I was, 2020 was an interesting year. So as I was writing my book in 2020, getting it finished, and then also in the fall of 2020, actually even before that, I had heard someone speaking light language at a conference, a business conference of all things. And I'm listening, and she talked about her journey with it. And then she started speaking it. And I started crying. It's like tears are falling down my face. I'm going, what is going on?
Happening?
I know. Yeah, exactly. Like, what is going on here? So I had to talk to her afterwards and, worked with her for a while, but didn't think that I would actually ever be able to do it myself until I ran into an old coach of mine who was also doing light language. I saw him doing it on Facebook of all things. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't know you did that. And so we connected, and then he encouraged me to do it. And I found it to be this really wonderful healing modality. And I decided that when I would do my own solo episodes of the show, it's really good at helping you to clear away different blocks and things to help you to gain more clarity and to reduce stress and things like that. So I would end the show, but essentially with doing couple minutes of light language, and usually it would tie into, and I still do that actually on the new version too, is tie into whatever the topic of the day is, and whether it is trying to get more clarity, for instance, and set an intention that that's what we're going to do, and then I share that with the audience, and selfishly it makes me feel good too, so I enjoy doing it.
Ah, you're doing it for you then, I see.
Yay.
Hey, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Interesting, because light language for me, I've heard it done in some of the meditations that I do, and inevitably it does bring kind of like this peaceful feeling over you if you just allow it. At first, it's like, what the heck is happening?
Oh, yeah. That the first day I did it, I felt like, someone had just turned on the tap, and all of this stuff just kind of flowed out of me. And I'm going, okay, that's interesting.
Wow.
So, but now it's second nature, since I've been doing it for 6 years now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, it's not something that we talk light language, but it's not like you're not having a conversation with someone, or you're not saying anything to someone. It's like a transmission of some sort. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's this multidimensional, I call it essentially language of love, because it's something that really speaks to your heart. It speaks to your soul. It's not anything that your brain understands necessarily. Although I have had one client who said, ooh, that was like being at the United Nations, because she was able to kind of get the gist of what was coming through. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So you never know, but it's essentially energy. And I think that's the best part of it. And sound healing, because I speak and I sing it, and sometimes one or the other or both combined, depending. I'll go back and forth. So,
yeah. So Gloria, Live, Love, Engage. You explained it beautifully, but why do you feel the show really needs to exist now?
Lots of reasons. So number one is there's so much discord going on in society. And at the same time, there's also a lot of wonderful awakening going on. And again, I was saying this just because it seemed to me is like 2020 was the start of this great awakening. And that's what I used to say on the podcast when I was doing it back then. And I think it's I want to be able to inspire people and help them, give them confidence, give them clarity, but also let them know that, as the subtitle of my book is, to stop doubting yourself and start being yourself. We need you to and be there to engage authentically, to be yourself. And I believe that we are all basically love. That's what we're made of, and that's what we need more and more of these days. So if we can all spread more of that in the world, ultimately I've got an optimistic thing. There's, a lot.
We need more
I
of you,
feel
Gloria.
all of this is eventually going to work itself out, and we are moving into a higher dimension, and that's why I love new reality TV. I think you guys and what you're doing with your podcast and everything is so cool. So I love it.
I will correct you in one thing, Gloria. It's what we are doing. You are a part. Oh, you're an integral part of new reality TVs. Don't forget that. So
that's true.
Is there anyone that this show is not good for?
Well, I'd say if you're someone who is just determined to do things the way you've always done them, and also if you're someone who is just a stoic, I'm going to do everything myself, then, and you're definitely, if you're not open-minded about spirituality, then this isn't for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to be that way, God bless you. And, cool. If that works for you, great. On the other hand, if you're someone who, is interested in exploring ways to be able to grow as a person, as a professional, then I'd invite you to check it out.
Well, if that wasn't enough, now you're shifting gears and going to design someone's life their way, right?
Yeah. So it's really just more fine-tuning live, love, engage now. So to really be able to, as I said, help women in particular in midlife to really say, okay, what do I want now? And what do I want my life to look like? Because I was actually having a conversation with someone today who also works with women of this age and talking about how that, we've spent a lot of time as nurturers, and whether it's nurturing our own family or nurturing a business or nurturing our pets, whatever. But there comes a time where it's time to start nurturing ourselves. But sometimes we don't know what that's going to look like, or we're afraid even to step into that. And that's why I've been able to do that for myself. I've gone through that process over the last several years, and now I'm in a good place where I really am much happier with the way my life is going. And so I want to be able to pay that forward and help others get to that same place.
Right. So listeners or watchers of Live, Love, Engage, and they're transitioning over to design your life your way.
Yeah.
Are there elements that they'll find familiar, or is it a completely different show?
I would say the big difference at the moment is that they're going to get more of me.
Right.
I decided to do more solo episodes this time around, as opposed to the last couple of years. I was doing a guest one week in the interview, and then my episode the following week, or sometimes even just a bunch of guests and not even hardly me. But I wanted to be able to share more of my wisdom and hopefully expertise. And so I'm having guests on once a month, except on those months when there's 5 weeks, and then I'll put an extra guest in time.
You know what they say about Gloria? The differences, the similarities between Gloria and cowbell, you can never get enough.
That's right.
Well, I think I just dated myself a little bit there, but
hey, I'm right with you.
Yeah, well, misery loves company, I guess. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're talking about your second show, but that hasn't premiered as of this taping. That has not premiered on New Reality TV yet. We're still focused on Live, Love, Engage. We're finishing off the second season, but then people should be on the lookout for the new show to drop, and we'll make sure that we announce it very broadly and widely so everybody knows. But is there anything that you feel is commonly misunderstood in your field here that you are clearing up?
Well, I would say, and this is especially maybe not necessarily my field, but I think regarding women in midlife in general is that we're not, and especially even I have a lot of friends who are even over 70, and they really feel invisible. And I want them to know also that they're not invisible. And I think this misconception that just as you get older that you're not valuable. Somehow we got into this mindset, and that wasn't how it used to be a long time ago. But there is much more, we have more experience and more wisdom, and it's good to be able to value, and we can mentor younger, generations. And so know that we still have values. Don't be putting us out to pasture yet.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, I think less and less people are feeling like they're done. At that age, 50, 60, 70s, there's still, they say, what is it, 50s and the old or the new 30 or whatever it is.
Right, yeah.
So, there's still a lot of work to be done. Having said that, does someone who is not in your age demo, would they get anything out of these shows?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was at a networking meeting not too long ago, and I was seated with actually 4 young men. They were, I think, pretty much mostly in their 20s, maybe, or, upper 20s, maybe a little 30s. And they were like, I could use this stuff too. Although one of them did say, well, maybe I'll have my grandma talk to you. I was like, okay.
No, he did not.
but no, it's seriously because, and actually sometimes I do feel like maybe I should, whatever, aim it towards younger women, because I know when I was in definitely my 30s, I would say 20s, I was pretty good. But as I got into my 30s and even started becoming, a wife and a mother, that's when I started feeling more self-doubt, and you feel more self-conscious, and you're always trying to do everything right. And it's not easy being a parent. So if you're in that age range, I think even more, you also still need to be able to develop some self-confidence and be able to keep your dreams alive and don't let them get too dusty. Putting them too far away.
Definitely, especially as a parent. I know Karen has mentioned all the time the fact that Karen, my partner, my wife, she mentions all the time that when we had our daughter, she was no longer Karen. She was now Sienna's mom. And so now that Sienna's a little bit older and now has her own life and her own identity, now Karen's finding that she needs to find herself again. So having something like this at her disposal will probably be a big, big help. So thank you for what you're doing. That's awesome. So is there a belief that you believe has been outgrown?
That I've personally outgrown?
Sure.
Or
just
a belief in general that's been outgrown.
Whichever one is more resonating with you.
I'm thinking that the belief, and this is one for me too, is that that it's good to do things on our own. That old independent spirit that, especially in the United States, it's sort of been that way. And I think we are learning that together we're stronger, and to build community is so important. And that's why I love being able to be either in a community or I also have my own community that I'm cultivating as well. And so, when we can be together, that's when we can really make a difference in the world.
Right. So you did send over some clips of your shows. I want to get a chance for people to experience them. So is there anything you have to set up for this first one? Is for Live, Love, Engage? Anything you just?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a clip from an interview. So, but I think it'll give a taste of it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, here is a clip of Live, Love, Engage.
I am in control. And that's what I love telling people too, is that you get to decide, whatever it is that is going on in your life, ultimately you are the one in control. You get to decide what you want to do, what you want to say, what you want to think, what you want to believe. It's you. So don't pay attention necessarily. You can be aware of what other people are saying, but ultimately And that's where really spending that time to get to know yourself so that you can ask your heart, because your heart is the driver's seat of you more than the brain. Listen to
Absolutely.
your heart knows. That's why they have those expressions.
Right. And we are in a time where we're realizing that, and we're proving that the heart really is the center of all intelligence. And
and there are actual neuron cells. I mean, there has been research done on this that it really is. It is. The heart is so important.
I agree.
Okay. And then I also wanted to share a clip of the new show, even though it's not available yet, but we want to give a cryptic tease for the people listening.
Yeah.
So again, anything we need to set up for this one?
No, nothing. It's fine. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's a clip of Design Your Life Your Way.
I'm not giving up on you. And that's why I'm going to be here doing these podcasts every week, whether it's me or whether I'm interviewing a guest. And we're going to help you to design your life your way. Because it's so good when you do. Oh my gosh. I feel so much better now that I've gone through all these. And I know something else will happen down the road, and I'll deal with that when it does. But for now, life is going pretty good. And I'm excited about this year, despite all the craziness that's in the air. And, I'm not going to go down that road. But I'm much more happy in my skin now. And I want to help you to get there too.
Well, both shows look fantastic, but I've known that. That's why we're blessed to have you as part of our new reality TV family. But now, continuing on with our conversations, do you think that the cat wants to join the conversation?
Evidently. He's been fed, they're like kids, when mommy's on the phone, kids will interrupt you. And my cat is the same way.
Right.
So
pay attention to me. Pay attention to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as much as I would love to have a conversation with the cat, I think we need to continue our conversation because that's probably why people tuned in. Where do you think people are genuinely confused right now in their awakening or in their growth?
I think sometimes, and I'm just, again, looking at different groups, even that I belong to, I think that I'll see comments from people where they're maybe confused about wanting someone else to tell them the answers and what to do, whereas I'm more about helping you to discover your own innate wisdom that you have and to be able to tap into that yourself. And just as an example, I follow something called the Gene Keys, and it's very related to human design. And I will see people go into this Facebook group and just say, here's my profile. Can you tell me what it is? Tell me all about it. Right. And it's like the whole point of it is to sort of figure this out on your own, sort of,
just discover, right?
Yeah, and discover it for yourself instead of letting somebody else do that. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, but
no, it did. It did. It sounds like because when you get down to the bottom of it all, right? We talk a lot about it on New Reality that every path is unique in and of itself, and someone can express their unique path to you, but that doesn't mean that you should take it as rote. Like, this is the way forward. You need to discover your own path. So that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. So is there one, if we were to leave the viewers with one mindset shift or simple practice that someone can sit with right after they finish listening to the show or watching the show, what would you recommend that would be?
Oh, I am a big proponent of, two things, but the first one is meditation and the second one is journaling as ways of helping you to connect with your higher wisdom. And so and then to go with that is to trust yourself, and that helps you to start learning how to trust yourself by listening to yourself. And listening to that higher self speaking to you, and it might come through the written word. interesting when, you get into just journaling for a while. I love the morning pages thing that Julia Cameron talks about in her book, The Artist's Way. And just because sometimes if, the first page I'll do is just sort of nonsense and stuff, just listing things I have to do today. But if I keep going, eventually it's like, oh, some interesting things will be revealed, and you have to give yourself that time. Right. So know that you do have the answers within. And even if you do, sometimes finding those answers does require seeking outside help too, because that is how the universe helps us as well. It gives us people. It gives us resources like New Reality TV that has lots of different, shows and wonderful people that you might resonate with one person and you might resonate with me, but someone else will resonate with somebody else. Someone resonates with you. There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Now, I am with you with meditation. I do that daily, and I love it. However, journaling is a challenge for me, and here's why. I completely understand the reason for it and the value behind it, but I write so much slower than my mind thinks or that I even speak that I get frustrated because I can't get it out fast enough. And if I do, when I go back to read it again, I won't understand it. Right, so
I hear you, because I have journals and then I go back and I try to read my handwriting. It's not the greatest. And I think, and I'm almost thinking that I should do this, but I would recommend this to you too, especially if your thoughts are fast, is use the wonderful technology that we have. Use a recorder, video, audio recorder, use the Google, will translate or whatever, dictation, basic voice to text. Yeah, exactly. And just speak for, 10 minutes and not worry that you're saying, well, this is what I got to do today and all of this, but the same principle, I think. Okay. I mean, there is something about pen and paper is really good.
And I was going to ask, because it feels a little like it feels different.
And there is some sort of, I know there's been like research done on that really is something about that tactile thing of being able to do it. But hey, we're all unique. And that's one thing I teach is that, to value your uniqueness. So do what works for you.
and I will say, I will say that one of my favorite spiritual series of books was channeled. Conversations with God was completely channeled by Neil Donald Walsh. So there is definitely something behind that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to try it again, Gloria. I'll let you know how it goes. But all right. If someone wanted to reach out to you, Gloria, and of course they can watch your show on New Reality TV, but if they wanted to reach out to you personally to work with you or to learn more about you, what's the best place for someone to do that?
Well, certainly my website is absolutely great, which is my name, gloriarand.com. I'm also active on LinkedIn. So if you look for Gloria Grace Rand on LinkedIn, you'll find me. And I'd love to connect there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're going to add a direct link to that in a show notes so people can just click on the link and get connected directly. But we encourage you to go to New Reality TV because that is the kind of work we like to spotlight here. Not because it has all the answers, but because it asks better questions and invites real engagement. Gloria, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. Now, if this conversation sparked something for you, you can explore more of Gloria's work on New Reality TV. And if you're someone who's curious about consciousness, growth, and where personal responsibility actually meets spiritual exploration, well, this is what we do here. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on New Reality Awakening.